So, one of the things I try to do during the summer is figure out what I'm going to do for projects during the winter when you can't really do a whole lot outside because it's raining all the time. So one of the things that I did this weekend is I picked up some tools and things like that I'm going to try to overhaul this winter. To start out with, so these right here are all Distons. So that's a well-known older brand of saw back in the 1800s, and good quality metal, good quality saws. Obviously they haven't been particularly well cared for, although some of them are in much better condition than other ones, and I'll show you the reason for that here in a little bit. And then right underneath my videographer's
your lovely assistant
feet, so one of them is Simmons, this one right here, and then this one right here I had never heard of before, but it's Bay State Saw Manufacturing Company, and I had not heard of that one before, so I need to do a little internet research on this one. But it seems like it's a pretty nice saw. So these ones right here, I'm not really sure what brands these would be. They all have the warranted superior medallions on them, but that's not really indicative of anything in particular. But it does indicate that maybe that might be something interesting. Who knows? You'll see on some of these, like in this one right here, that the side of the handle is chafed up. And so I'll show you the reason for that here in a second. Everybody wants to help. These ones up here, this is another warranted superior that I got in a previous yard sale. And then this one right here is another warranted superior medallion on a crosscut saw. So this is a one-person crosscut saw. It does have the little helper handle down here at the end. And so this would be, of course, for falling smaller trees and things like that. So those are all on my projects for this winter. Coming down into here. So one of the things I got was, remember Papa, my grandfather on my mother's side, had a lot of these, and he used those. He was a bricklayer and a carpenter. And so when I picked up this one, I had a few nice little finds in there. So a lot of work needs to be done on those things. Also, there was some various little planes. So this one's the angle. I found a blade for that one in the other box. So some different planes there. An old kitchen knife, some hammers, other clamps and things. A couple of things. This, I don't know what this is, but we'll be doing a little research on that and figure that out. I'm thinking maybe a stamp or some sort of
I think it rivets.
I don't think rivets. I think maybe like those little kind of staple looking clamps maybe, but we'll see. I also don't know what this is. It's got a little adjustable, you loosen up the screw, that slides and takes a setting for different heights.
Is that one of those things that lets you mark things?
I don't know. So I've got to figure out what that is. That's part of the fun of this, right?
I guess so.
So this is kind of interesting. It's a drill that you would, hold against your chest, or you could potentially hold it against your shoulder as well. And so you see right now it's doing about 3.5 revolutions for every crank of the handle. And then if you push this little button right here down, slide that out, right, reposition it, and it changes the gearing.
That's cool.
So 2-speed rest drill. And the you know, it's in pretty decent shape all in all. It was a little seized up, but Gavin worked it loose pretty easily. So
Nothing a little WD-40 can't fix.
an old chainsaw, an old pump.
Where'd you get the chainsaw?
Jab scope. Larry.
Oh, when did we get a chainsaw?
So it goes roundy.
Oh, that's good.
So we'll see. A nice big clamp for the workbench here. So that's a nice sized one. I picked up a smaller one, which I'll mount probably down at the end. Maybe mount this one a little towards the middle. And then mating those up with the big one down at the end, the machinist vise down here. Then, so you can have long things and hold them up, and you can use them kind of in concert with each other. So that's kind of where I'm going there. This right here, this is a generator that is probably flooded out and ruined, but Gavin's going to check it out and see about if it's possible to overhaul it and get it working. The other and more likely possibility is that we end up scrapping it for the metal value. We were told that there was a bunch of fresh water that was dumped on it that killed it. However, we're finding some indications that it's maybe been sitting in water down in the bilge or something, so it may be just only worth the scrap value. Probably save some of these like heat exchangers and the pumps and things like that. And so that's Gavin's project that he's going to be working on, one of them. Also got an old AC unit that we're going to probably scrap. I'm pretty sure that there's no way to get that thing going again. And it's a R22, I think.
The coolant?
The Freon. And so that's not really available anymore. So anyway, this is actually what I think is the coolest thing. So those saws that I showed you out there came in this box, and back inside there were some various saw blades and things like that in there for these little saws. But when there's that blade that I mentioned over, so this little drawer goes in here, right, slides in and out there, and then if you see right here, there's slots, and so your saws go in there, right, because the saws can flex, so you keep your saws here, keep the rest of your tools there, and then you close this up. It has nice clamps right there, or hinges, metal casing, right? Probably like a 18 gauge or something similar to that. And then it had a leather handle that would go right up here. So.
And a way to lock it.
Yeah. So your tools would be very protected and secure. So thought that was pretty neat. That's probably the neatest thing out of the whole bunch. So.
And yay for yard sales. What did you spend?
Let's see, for all the saws, this box, the other box, all of those tools that you saw on the workbench over there, plus the vise, were $50. So if those saws are cleaned up and in decent shape, will be worth a good bit more than that. But it'll be a lot of work doing it. So.
But fun, fun work.
These also came in it. I guess I should point out some of these. So, and I printed out a couple of pages here so I could show Gavin. But this is from the U.S. Forest Service saw manual. And so you see you've got your raker gauge here. And so your rakers would stick up through here, just like what you would use like with a chainsaw or something, right? And you can adjust the height. And then you'd file your rakers right in here. There's a missing screw right here. So this is the same one right here. And you see it's got the screw missing right there, but everything else is intact. Then these are joiners. So the difference there is that these have a file that inserts into them. And so use that to make sure that all of your teeth are all the same height. Let's see, so this is basically just another gauge there, and then these are called spiders. If you're manually setting your set, like on a big crosscut saw, then you use the spiders. So you got 4 legs, right? 3 of them are the base, and then one of them is you file it or use a stone to get it to a particular height, and then that is how you gauge your set. Right, because the teeth go to either side, right? So you would take that, you put it up there to see if the set is right for that tooth. So, and then these are for on smaller saws, doing the set for the teeth, for the cutting teeth. So this one, I can't see it, but it does have a little bit of marking on it and a little bit of a label right here. So that we should be able to figure out what make that is. And then this one I had from before. This one basically looks the same right there. And it's a pin craft, also made in USA. It's been a little more worn. So these are pretty cool as well. So plenty of things to mess around with. Oh, in addition to the old radio over here, which was going to be last winter's project, and I didn't have time to get to it. So still have it here. It's an old Philco.
Come around the other side of it.
It's post World War II, so it's not super collectible or anything, but we are going to try to get it going. And if that doesn't work, then we will figure out what sort of piece of furniture it could be. So maybe we'll make them into like
bar.
Yeah, like a little mini bar or booze locker or something. Cause
sure, you can put your glasses right down in there, where your turntable is supposed to be.
Yeah, so you put your booze down there, your glasses or whatever, and so the finish won't be hard to restore. That's fine. That'll be pretty easy. The radio is the hard part.
Tricky part.
You can also update it with newer electronics and make it a pseudo old-fashioned radio. So I think that's about it. Oh, also a big grinder over here, a 10-inch grinder that I picked up
last year when we were yard selling.
Yep, that was last year. And so I've got the new switch for it and a boot, and so now that I've got my electrical stuff off the boat, I'm going to redo these and fasten it up, and then we'll see if it goes roundy. Also had to get a new cord for it. Got a nice big one there. And what I think I'll do is I'm going to start out by making a cord just for this one, and then eventually we'll have a pigtail of that, and these will both go onto a movable
there's another grinder
tape
here.
stand. Yeah, so this one right here, the DeWalt one that I use right now for sharpening and things like that. So anyway, so this is the garage.
Welcome to the garage. It's actually quite clean.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you did a nice job cleaning it last week. Oh, look. And we have some company out here. Buddy in his ever vigilant state. And Honey, who I think is about to sneeze. There she goes. Oh!
That's not a sneeze.
That's not a sneeze. Really glad we shared that with you.
Yeah.